Welcome. Today, I don't think I'll have any friends, but I might, so surrender with me to the journey. Sometimes when I'm feeling really tired and exhausted, when I'm feeling really low energy, sometimes what I need is to take a break, to rest, to stop moving. And sometimes what I need is to get moving. You've probably experienced the kind of jolt of energy you get, or at least the maybe little lift you get from going on a walk when you're feeling low energy. That getting the blood moving can really help your body, your spirit, your soul reconnect with the energy of God, with the fact that we are vessels and that it's not our own energy that keeps us going, but it's the breath of life. It is the animating force of God present in us that keeps us going. So today's practice is a little more energizing, a little more active than some of the other practices we've done so far. But what we're going to start with, as we always do, is taking a moment to sit and arrive with our bodies. We'll be doing a lot of focus on grounding, on feeling stable, on noticing the stability of the ground, and maybe imagining and praying and recognizing that that's the rock-like stability of God on which we stand, right? So what we'll do right now is find that stability in our seat, in our hips, in our sit bones, the kind of bottom points of our pelvis, and we'll later find that while we're standing or on our knees. But right now, while you're sitting, you can be kneeling, you could be sitting on a pillow, you could be sitting on the ground. And as you exhale, imagine your weight and let me move back so you can see me a little bit better. Imagine your weight, your sense of stability, your energy moving down, finding roots in the ground. You can even use your hands, move them like that if you'd like to. I'm going to see if you can see me a little better if I close that up. We'll see. Move your hands with me if you'd like. We'll do it 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Then as you're ready, bring yourself to your hands and your knees. Place your wrists well underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Spread your fingers nice and wide so that you have a really stable and rooted stance for your body. Press your fingers into your mat or into the ground wherever you are. You want to put as much weight as you can, as much activity as you can into your fingers. That'll take some of the pressure off of your wrists. On an inhale, tilt your belly down toward the mat, tilt your pelvis, inhale your face up toward the sky. And then as you exhale, reverse the curve of your spine, coming into this cat pose, tucking your chin toward your chest, tucking your tailbone under. Inhale, come into cow. Maybe rolling your shoulders back, and then exhale into cat. Inhale into cow, and exhale into cat. As we continue moving at the speed of your breath, you might bring in movement side to side, maybe stretching the sides of your body as you inhale and exhale. Exploring any kind of movement that helps your back get a little bit juiced up, gets your body feeling a little bit more ready. Be good for you to be able to see my face, right? As you feel ready, bring yourself back to a flat back, drawing your navel in toward your spine. Nice and strong stance here. And as you are ready, tuck your toes under. Place those hands well. Bring your hips up and back. Coming into dog, downward facing dog pose. You might pedal your feet, moving your legs back and forth. Continuing to breathe deeply to feel the openness in the front of your body. Feeling your shoulder blades coming together along your back. Inhale and exhale. And here, let your feet, your legs, your hips, let them feel heavy. Let them just rest toward the mat and toward the ground to be a stable place for you to rest. Inhale and exhale. I'm going to move a little bit forward so that I can show you what we'll do with our feet. As you feel ready, if you'd like to, inhale your right leg up toward the sky, any amount. Maybe just like right here, or maybe super high, whatever feels like the right amount of stretch. If you're against a wall, or if you'd like to, you can bend your knee. Maybe even shoot that knee up toward the sky to get a deeper stretch in your left thigh. If you'd like to, you can even make circles with that leg, bringing some heat into that hip socket. Then as you feel ready, bring those hips back to parallel the way that they were when you had both feet on the ground. But what we're going to do is bring our right foot up between our hands. Bring your left heel down to the mat, and then inhale your arms up toward the sky. You've got both hips facing forward like they're headlights, the way that your body and chest are facing. You've got your arms up toward the sky. You might even imagine that you're holding a globe. You could have your arms right by your ears, or you can have them kind of out. You might even want to put them in cactus or football, what do they call that? Goalpost arms. Feeling that stability and weight through your legs here, and then feeling the length up through your spine. Inhale and exhale. Open yourself out. This is Warrior 2. Stretching your arms out to the sides. You can have your palms down or your palms up. Palms up might help you get your shoulder blades back on the back of your back a little bit closer, a little bit more opening through your collarbones here. Then straighten your front leg. Your front and your back leg are both straight now, and you can bring your hip back and shoot your arm forward and come into this triangle pose. We've done this pose before in one of our earlier movement videos. You could have your hand kind of propped on your leg, arms stretching up toward the sky to stretch. Or if you want more of a challenge, this arm can be free and just pushing to open up your chest and your side body to the sky even more. Let's move back into Warrior 1. And then we'll bring both hands down to your mat, either side of your front foot. and come back into downward facing dog. You might want to pedal your legs a little bit. You might feel a difference between each leg. They've been doing different kinds of work for the last few minutes. Then as you feel ready, inhale that left leg up to the sky. You might keep your hips parallel, or you might angle it open. You might move this knee, juicing up that hip socket. And then as you feel ready, bring those hips parallel again, stepping that left foot through. We'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to hop this way so that I can still face you. You're going to drop that right heel to the mat and inhale your arms up to the sky. And again, if you want to have your arms out a little bit like a globe, if you want to have them up by your ears, if you want to have goalpost or cactus arms, you can explore what kind of movement is needed here. You might notice that it's easier or more difficult to have your hips facing toward the front of your mat, of your area, of your space here, or maybe it's easier than it was on the other side. Our bodies store different things, and even each side of our bodies have different conditions, from the way that we've slept, or the way that we tend to carry groceries, or the way that we tend to sit. Let's open up into Warrior Two. You can have your palms up or down. Inhale. Inhale that arm up toward the sky, stretching back. And then we're going to bring that leg straight, reaching your left arm out, and then down, opening up into triangle pose. We're feeling that stability, that strength in the earth, that we can maybe imagine that we're like rooted trees that are pulling that stability, that firm rockiness up into our bodies, pulling that up so that we remember the energy is not our own, but it is God who fills us with breath, energizes us, gives us strength. Back into Warrior One for a moment, hands down to either side of your front leg, and back into downward facing dog for a moment. Let's pull ourselves forward into high plank, is what this is called. Our bodies like they're a sheet of wood. Then we'll lower ourselves down either to chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin. And I'm really stuck underneath this drape. Inhale up. Nice stretch in the back. Then we're actually going to come back up to all fours. Bring your hips back toward your feet. Stretch your hands out in front of you. This is child's pose. Inhale and exhale here. Take a few deep breaths. Noticing especially the heat that has been created in your body from all of the different poses we've been doing. Inhaling and exhaling, imagining that the breath is moving that heat around in our bodies. Just like we hope and pray for the Holy Spirit to move God's presence, His healing light, His renewing strength, His stability around in our lives. Let's take 5 breaths. On your next inhale, bring yourself back up to a seat. lost my screen, so I'm going to type back in so I can see y'all, or I can see myself. And we're going to do a few more postures. It's good to be able to stand, right? So bring yourself up into mountain pose. This is Tadasana. Step back a little bit. So we're just standing. You might want to stand with your feet together. You might want to stand with your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Or you might find that you'll find the posture that feels the most stable, the most steady to you. Now, what I'll encourage you to imagine you're doing here is that your feet are both electric plugs. And the heels of your feet are the grounded prong, right? So you've plugged those in. And then imagine under the big toe mound of your foot. I'll show you what all these are. Heel, grounded, the big toe mound right here, and your little toe mound right here. So these are kind of the three prongs that we're thinking of our outlets, our electrical pronged feet. So let's plug our heels in. Imagine plugging in the spot under your big toe mound and then plugging in the spot under your little toe mound. Feel yourself steady in those spots. If you want to, you might even imagine or try to think about how you could pull up the arch of your foot, each foot, away from the earth, from the floor. That will intensify the stability in those three spots that we just talked about. And then you can imagine perhaps that you're drawing that energy, that electricity up through your legs, that you're drawing it up through your spine and torso, that you're drawing it up through your neck and your head, that this stabilizing force is also an animating, energizing, electrifying force. Filling your whole body with energy, with life. Your hands are a little bit separated from your body. It provides a little bit of balance, but the activation of your fingers, having your fingers nice and spread wide like this, kind of like our toes are spread wide, also helps to make our arms, our hands feel energized. Feel as if that fresh blood is flowing, as if our oxygenated blood is moving through our whole bodies. So we're going to try a little experiment here. We are being firm mountains. But now I will invite us to be strong, flexible, stable, movable trees. So bring your right foot to the ankle of your left. You can have your arms out like this. You might have them out all the way to the sides, up, however feels good for you. You might even have them at your heart center if you want something that's a little bit more protected and enclosed feeling. Really root into the energy, the stability, the plugged-inness of that left foot, and bring that right foot up any amount. It might be right here today. That might be a good challenge. You might bring it up to your calf. You might bring it up to your thigh. Take a deep breath. Continue to feel that strength and stability through the foot that's on the ground. Remember that trees, when they're in the wind, they move. That's part of their beautiful stability, is that they are flexible. they are able to sway and to not lose themselves. Let's have one more inhale. And exhale, release that foot back to the mat or the ground. I've got to shake my foot out. That really worked on my toe muscles. And then as you're ready, we're going to do the other side. We're going to just explore what the same kind of movement and same kind of stress that we're putting on this other leg, this other system of muscles in the same body, how it might respond differently. It's a little experiment. It's a way to notice how unique each side of our body is. We have 2 sets of quads and 2 sets of glute muscles. They both respond differently. We have 2 feet with all the same little bones in them, and they experience all the same things. And yet, even in our very own bodies, they respond differently. We are fearfully and wonderfully made, are we not? Remember that stability. And the animating breath, which keeps us moving. Take one more inhale and exhale, release. Oh my goodness, that foot felt it too. So before we close today, I want to do a breathing practice with you. Noticing the way that the Holy Spirit is present in our lives is so important to our spiritual health. And noticing, cultivating, honoring the breath literally in our bodies is such an important way to have physical, emotional health. I'm trying to find a really comfortable way to sit here. Sometimes there isn't one. That is also an important truth. Sometimes there's not a comfortable way to sit. So, okay, we're going to try this. It may be uncomfortable. It'll be okay. You ready for this? I'm going to take my glasses off so that you can see a little bit better. And I'm coming close to the camera. So, this has got an Indian name, Nadi Shodhana, but it's also called alternate nostril breathing. And each nostril, this is so crazy, is connected to the sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous systems. So the sympathetic nervous system is the fight or flight, freeze, get the adrenaline going, run away, fight somebody nervous system, the stress response, right? The parasympathetic nervous system is the you're safe, you can eat, you can digest your food, you can go to sleep, you're going to be okay, calm, deep breath kind of nervous system. So the left nostril is associated with the rest and digest response. The right is associated with the sympathetic nervous system, more of the fight or flight response. So, as will maybe not surprise y'all after this last year especially, we can, as humans, often are kind of out of balance, either too much of one or too much of the other. Haven't we been discovering that in our bodies today with balancing and trying poses on different sides? So one way to work on that is, like we did, doing the same pose on both sides. Another way is to make sure that we are breathing equally out of both nostrils. So we're going to breathe out of one and then out of the other. We're going to switch which nostril we're breathing out of in the middle of the breath, which is a little bit unnerving and awkward feeling, but that's the point of it because it makes us continue to pay attention to what we're doing rather than our mind going off somewhere else, right? So this is how it works. You take your pointer finger and stick it on your face. This is not a joke. I'm serious. Between your eyebrows. And then your thumb is going to be able to plug one side, and your middle finger is going to be able to plug the other side. This is how it works. Okay, so you're going to plug your right nostril and inhale through your left nostril.
Plug the left nostril, open the right one, and exhale. We're going to inhale again through the right nostril. I'm a little stuffy today. Plug the right nostril, open the left, and exhale. Inhale through the left nostril. And now we switch. Open the right one and exhale. Let's do this a few more times. Inhale through the right nostril. Switch and open the left nostril. Exhale. Inhale through the left nostril. Switch, open the right nostril. Inhale through the right. Switch and open the left. Exhale. Inhale through the left. This will be our last one. Switch and exhale through the right. Now take a few breaths. It's an equilibrating, also kind of energizing way to breathe. So thank you all for joining me today. May you find God to be your stability. May you remember that you are a vessel of His energy, His breath, His Holy Spirit, His presence.